Hello, hello. This is the my artifact episode number 3582. Today's date is September 10, 2025. It's been almost like morning at 8:25 a.m. All right. So basically, ki- what I okay today I will gonna follow the routine. Okay, what do you mean by follow the routine? Like from past couple of days, like 2 3 days, I was not following the routine. What is exactly your routine, and why are you not following it? Okay, I have a couple of things to do. Okay, first of all, read the book half an hour, um, do the kind of like a monthly do app development courses for 1 hour, play 1 hour of Lumosity game, then basically this thing, then play 1 hour Brilliant. Okay, Brilliant is also app. Okay, yeah. Then micro learning, Duolingo. Okay, meditation. These are micro learning, and then content creation. Okay, yeah. So this is kind of like a routine that I have. Okay. By the way, then after that, workout and things and that. These are routine is actually disturbed by couple of days ago, almost like just 2 days ago. I conduct a courses, AI app development, AI courses. Okay, artificial intelligence courses. Those courses for like basically for 2 days. Okay, and it was almost like a straight 8 hours, 8 hour continuous Zoom call. They actually teaching regarding about what is actually new invention and innovation is actually happening AI field and stuff like that, and how do we supposed to utilize these how do I suppose to utilize this field to kind of like make our life much better as it is. So I was kind of like conducting this course for almost like a 2 days. Okay, yeah. Because of this thing, my routine get disturbed, very much disturbed. Because of that, I was actually spending almost like a 9 hour in those particular classes. Okay, like started from 10 a.m. to 7 p.m. Okay, yeah. So and in between that, I was not doing anything, just kind of like a watching that kind of like a particular classes and things like that. By the way, these classes are really amazing. It added so much value inside of me. It was really good, really great, one of the best. Okay, yeah. But because of I conduct these classes, I disturb my routine. Okay, yeah. More specifically, I disturb my content creation process. Okay, yeah. Because I decided that I should supposed to be upload my piece of content every single day. So because of these classes, it kind of like a disturb. By the way, in advance, I already made a lot of kind of like assembly content in schedule, so it's not really that much impact. But still, what I'm trying to tell you is this thing, because of I haven't really done any kind of like a stuff for last 2 days, because of I'm kind of like doing these courses and things like that. So I was not able to create new content. Okay, yeah. So so basically, like, what I'm trying to tell you is this thing regarding about my content creation game. What is actually my strategy? My strategy is that be consistent. Okay, and for that consistency, I am not actually uploading kind of like a simply make a content and upload this content on this day. No, like basically is this thing, I usually create two piece of content every single day. Okay, and one I upload and one is schedule. Okay, so basically is this thing, when I kind of like simply create my content, so usually, and when I upload that content for next day or day after next day, right? So basically this thing, I always have kind of like a simply like I always why I'm doing this thing is because of that I will maintain the consistency. Okay, yeah. Like basically this thing, the pressure of uploading content, I don't really have that because I already have a lot of content in schedule. So yes, so I usually kind of like have a gap. Okay, gap means like that ki if I didn't really work for almost like a 2-3 days, still my piece of content will gonna upload automatically. Okay, yeah, for 3 days. Okay, so this is kind of like some 3-4 days, that gap I already maintain. Okay, yeah, that I'm making sure that my piece of content will kind of like a something always available. If I'm stuck at somewhere, or I won't be able to do any kind of like a something work for at least 3-4 days, my piece of content will gonna automatically gonna upload. I would be really free and stuff like that, right? So this is what kind of like a simply happened when I'm not kind of like when I'm kind of like a busy at these courses. I was not able to create any kind of like a simply content. Okay, yeah. But because of I was not actually creating content, the gap between the uploading content and kind of like a simply the work that I'm doing is kind of like a simply is really less. Okay, yeah. Like basically is this thing, let's just say that ki today's date is 10th of September. Okay, yeah. And basically is this thing that ki I kind of like a simply for last 2 days, means like that ki at 9th of September and 10th of September, I haven't really done any kind of like assembly work. Okay, yeah. My last work I did at 8th of September. Okay, yeah. So, and basically is this thing that 8th of September, I kind of like assembly have work till the 10th of September. Okay, yeah. So basically at 9th of September and 10th of September, I don't have to do anything at all because my content is already on schedule. Okay, yeah. But at if I'm kind of like a somebody doing work at 11th of September, then I might not have anything at all. So probably is this thing, whatever the content that I should supposed to be make, it's supposed to be upload on that day. Okay, so gap is not creating. Okay, yeah. And I want to kind of like a something make a gap. I wanted to make a kind of like a something gap between the content that I'm creating, the content that I'm uploading. Okay, yeah. And I need at least like a 3 to 4 days of gap. So what I did is that at 11th of September I have to be create at least like a 2 or 3 content, so that I would kind of like a something creating gap. Okay, so if I kind of like a create a content at 11th of if I create kind of like a 3 piece of content at 11th of September, so that means at 11th of September I will gonna upload the content which is I already created at 11th of September. Now 12th of September and 13th of September. Okay, yeah. So this kind of like a somebody like whatever the work that I did, like a 3 piece of content I created at the 11th of September. So 11th, 12th and 13th. Okay, 11th is actually gone, so basically 12th and 13th, so that means I have 2 days of gap. Okay, yeah. So that means I don't have to worry about kind of like a 12th of September and 13th of September. Okay, yeah. So this is what kind of like something gap that I want. Okay, this is something gap that I want, so that I would not be in really hassle and things like that. So this is what I need, a kind of like a something gap. So that's how I'm kind of like a doing it, like a basic listening, because of I'm kind of like a somebody creating this content creation stuff like that. So I was not actually able to make any kind of like a piece of content. But since this kind of like a classes is done, then I was actually a bit more focused on making the content. Okay, so day before yesterday and yesterday I was kind of like a creating 2 piece of content, and I uploaded, and right now I have 3 days of gap. Okay, yeah. So which is really good. Right now I'm not really hassle. So because of I have a gap, so I was kind of like a somebody, I'm not really kind of like a somebody worry about my content, nothing really at all. Okay, like today I will gonna make only one piece of content, that's it. Okay, yeah. Then rest of the time will kind of like a something allotted for other activities like app development, brain training, lumosity, brilliant, book reading, multiple things. Okay, so I would kind of like invest all those things plus piece of content, one piece of content. So if I'm doing this thing, then I will become more productive. Like I'm actually learning multiple things. Okay, yeah. AI and app development and the brain training and things like that, it kind of like somebody add impact in my life and things like that. So that's some kind of like somebody creating this thing. Okay, do you understand my routine? I don't know, it's a bit really confusing, but it's not really confusing. If you are kind of like in front of me, I would kind of like explain it very wisely regarding about what I do. But this is what I kind of like something do. Okay, yeah. So today I am literally free. That means like today I don't have any burden to create two piece of content. No, I have to make only one piece of content, which take almost like a 4 to 5 hour. That's it. Okay, and then rest of the hour I actually spend on kind of like a something app development and things and that. Okay, yeah. So I'm literally excited because last almost like maybe 4 or 5 days I haven't really learned any kind of like a app development, and I haven't really learned any kind of like a brilliant and lumosity and the Duolingo. Yeah, Duolingo has an animation is kind of like a very angry that I haven't really used for last 2 3 days. So the logo of the Duolingo is really crazy. Yeah, it's really good now. Like basically the Duolingo is kind of like a something. The UI of Duolingo is like really amazing. I just love it. Okay, yeah. So so this is what it is. Okay, yeah. So I will not gonna talk about more in this. Like I'm not gonna ask this question, but still, like I have time. Like it's been almost like a 10 minutes, so I'm gonna 10 minute invest on asking question to myself. All right, yeah. All right, let's go. Okay, question is, what is the best way to adjust a new trend in India? Oh, okay. Okay, what exactly is this thing? What is actually new trend in India? Okay. Um Okay, first of all, what exactly is this question? Okay, this question is actually associated with the business and startup and things like that. Why are you asking this question? I am asking this question to myself is because of that I wanted to learn this business and startup. Why? Because I have to be kind of like establish a business and startup in the future. Okay, and I haven't really done any kind of like a graduation. I haven't really done any kind of like a MBA's degrees. Nothing really at all. Asking this question to myself, so that I would be really aware of that what would supposed to become, and how do I supposed to be tackle that situation or aware that situation or things like that. All right. Yeah. Specifically, these questions, like the question is actually be more focused on growing your business specifically. Yeah. So regarding about this question, the question says, what are the best way to adjust a new trend in India from business point of perspective? Okay, yeah. So trend, okay, like basically if you are doing a business, then trend is kind of like a matter to you or not. It depends on what kind of like a business that you are doing. Okay, yeah. Let's just say that key mostly let's just say trending this kind of like a some term is utilized for social media. Okay, and basically it utilized for kind of like a some people who actually spend more and more time on the mobile phone and things like that. Okay, yeah. And the people who are kind of like associated with this trending is those people who are kind of like a somebody at the age of teenager or kind of like a somebody at the age of almost like a 15 to 30 or 35. Okay, yeah. So this is kind of like a, some people who are associated with the trending and things and that and that. Okay, yeah. Now what I'm trying to tell you is this thing that key, if you are kind of like a somebody running a business that cater those people, cater means like that key you are providing servicing for those age range of people, then trending matter to you. Okay, yeah. But if you are running a business which is kind of like a something for very different, like let's just say that let's just say you are running a oil company. Okay, yeah. So in that particular process trending doesn't really matter, like it doesn't really affect you that much. Okay, yeah. Let's just say that there is a Reliance Oil. Okay, yeah. So Reliance Oil is actually kind of like a creating kind of like a social media post regarding about the trending topic and stuff like that. So how is it kind of like something relevant? Well, it's not relevant, because if there is a oil company, then probably is this thing na ki I'm kind of like expecting such a kind of like a something advertisement regarding about oil, regarding about oil prices, regarding about what kind of like they are offering, what kind of like they adopt new technology to refine the oil and stuff like that. Okay, yeah. I'm not actually expecting any kind of like a something a trending reel from Reliance Oil. No, it does not. Okay, I'm not really expecting that. Okay, yeah. Huh. but I'm definitely gonna expecting kind of like a something a Netflix trending kind of like a something reel from Netflix. Okay, yeah, because Netflix is kind of like a catering those people, catering kind of like a something the people who are teenagers or things like that. So from that point of perspective, yes, I'm actually expecting kind of like a somebody some sort of marketing strategy or some sort of reel from those people. All right, so do you understand the marketing or trend, like this specifically the trend factor is only associate with the people who are associated with those kind of like some people who are at the age range of 15 to 35 or things like that. Okay, yeah, like 15 to 35 is a really vague, from 15 at the age of 15 to 25. Okay, yeah. Now yes, I my business is actually associate, like my business is actually associate for those people, like basically whatever the services that I'm actually offering, I'm actually catering those people. So for me it is really essential to kind of like a something understand the trending and how do I supposed to utilize for grow our business. Okay, yeah. Let me example, there is a kind of like somebody couple of year ago, there is a very viral video went viral, there is a video went really viral. Okay, yeah. There is a guy from Zomato delivery services. Okay, yeah. And this guy was really amazing. I don't know how this guy is really great. Okay, yeah. So what is actually happened, there is a kind of like a somebody the a person who is kind of like a somebody asking to this particular delivery guy. Okay, yeah, that key how is your service, like a what, like a did you kind of like a somebody feel any hassle or things like that while delivering food or stuff like that. And the way that he kind of like gave the answer in such a way that it went viral. Okay, yeah, he was smiling, but not the smiling in such a way, but smiling the his face like his face is like so, yeah, like so funny. He's smiling. He was kind of like saying that you know everything is fine, we are actually delivering the food, and sometimes we didn't deliver the food, then probably that food belongs to us and things and that. It's a bit more funny, but it's really good. Like that Zomato boy are kind of like somebody became viral. Okay, yeah. So what I'm trying to tell you is this thing, how much it kind of like a something add value, it add value to the company. Okay, because of this person, like let's just say that key, there is no intention for those people who kind of like make those viral thing, no, nothing really at all. These are kind of like a very genuine person, and the question they ask very genuine too. Okay, yeah. But because of that particular person has a smile, very killer smile, people are kind of like something really really kind of like only happy or things like that, really kind of like somebody just they just love that particular that guy. Okay, so what I'm trying to tell you, because of this viral thing happened, the Zomato stock prices went up because of it, kind of like a somebody brand it, that particular boy from Zomato. By the way, Zomato is a food delivery application. Okay, so this is actually happened, and it kind of like something add value to the company. Okay, so definitely social media trend is kind of like a add value to the people. Now I have to be asked question to myself that key, how does kind of like a something trending will kind of like add value or add value in my company, or add like how does it. Okay, yeah, like do you actually kind of like have any strategies or things like that. Well, I'm not really sure. Okay, because let me tell you one thing, going to the viral and trending and things like that, it's kind of like a simply, it's not completely depend on us. Okay, it's not kind of like a depend on that ki, yeah, let's make like I will went viral and things and that. No, nothing really at all. Okay, yeah. And like I own like you actually say that kid, the Mr. Beast actually went viral every single video. So what like well, yes, Mr. Beast videos actually went really viral, but he put a lot of efforts and things like that. Okay, yeah. And my goal is not to go viral, or my goal is not to go kind of like a something kind of like a something that a lot of people will gonna kind of like listen my services or things like what exactly services. I'm trying to tell you is just that my app. Okay, my artifact. Okay, so what exactly is this thing? Okay, I already mentioned couple of times in artifact episode, but still My application is a kind of like a something the like basically is this thing writing a diary. Okay, like every single day people wrote the diary. I'm changing the method from writing to recording. Okay, means instead of people kind of like a writing the diary, they are kind of like a recording what exactly happened and things and that and that. Okay, I will not gonna explain everything regarding about like I already mentioned so many time in previous artifact episodes. So yeah, so this is kind of like a simply my application. Okay, now what I'm trying to tell you is this thing that key because of my application is actually for very niche kind of like a people. It's not very niche, but it's kind of like a somebody is this thing. It's actually for those people who are kind of like a somebody wanted to improve their life or things or that, or they wanted to share their thoughts or things like that. They I don't know. Like basically is this thing. It actually like I only understand that key my application is not for everybody. Huh, like if everybody is actually utilizing my application, that is really good, that is really great. But I'm a bit more focused on kind of like a simply the people who are kind of like at the particular age range from the age of 15 to 25 or things like that. Okay, yeah, and they are kind of like a simply alone and they wanted to share their thoughts and things like that and utilizing this application for grow their from grow them. Okay, like basically is this thing. um at the moment, okay, at the moment I don't really have any kind of like really marketing strategies or things like that. I do have a little bit of marketing strategy, but not in the form of kind of like a using of social media, but kind of like a simply utilizing a kind of like a simply a technical or tactical way or stuff like that. Okay, and this marketing strategy I already mentioned in previous artifact episodes, so I will not gonna talk about this thing again. Okay, yeah, I'm only gonna talk about kind of like a something trending. Okay, like basically how does kind of like a something trending will kind of like add value to your business and things like that. It will gonna definitely gonna add value. It will gonna definitely add new customer or new user to my platform or things like that, which is really good, which is really great. Okay, yeah, but is this thing na ki I like I don't know. Okay, what I'm trying to tell you is this thing na ki if your piece of content or if your piece of like what is exactly kind of like something you are offering. Okay, let me tell you one thing. Okay, yeah, you are running a 5-star hotel. Okay, yeah, and you are actually providing really great food and great services and things and that and that. Okay, yeah, the only thing that you will actually offering this services when you have little less customer, right? Like when you have very valuable customer. Okay, yeah, if you're gonna say that key I'm actually providing all those luxury services to all the people for free, then at the beginning you might gonna start, but you might not gonna hold this position for longer period because it's not gonna feasible for you and it's nothing really at all, and you're gonna welcome such a people that doesn't really belong to that 5-star hotel. Now I'm not kind of like a criticizing, I'm not kind of like a somebody is just saying that ki those people are not belong. No, definitely like it's don't, yeah, don't kind of like a somebody think me that way. Okay, I'm actually thinking that na ki every person thinks very different. Okay, yeah, legitimately different. Okay, and sometimes na like basically, okay, let me explain. Okay, let me kind of like somebody give you the example so that I would so that you would understand. Okay, so as I mentioned couple of days ago, I was kind of like conducting this AI app development, sorry, AI courses, artificial intelligence courses. Okay, it's a Zoom call meeting, and in that Zoom call meeting thousands of people actually gather, and they are kind of like a simply learning this. There is a mentor who is kind of like a teaching about what is that this and that and that and that. Okay, now in the chat room, okay, in the chat box, there are so many people actually kind of like a simply scamming their things, like a scamming their kind of like a things that key like a YouTube link or any kind of like a somebody link are actually posted on this uh, chat box. Okay, and that everyone can see, which is really not good na. This chat box is actually utilized for effective communication to the mentor, to the kind of like a somebody, the viewer who is kind of like a somebody conducting these courses and things like that. It's not meant to be kind of like a somebody you are gonna promote your things or that, or maybe this is like a very wrong thing. What I'm trying to tell you is this thing na ki the if I'm gonna say that ki my application will kind of like somebody is this thing that ki it will gonna grow you, it will kind of like add value in you and stuff like that, very less people are kind of like utilizing that skill, or very less people are utilizing this thing. Why? Because let me tell you one thing na ki um, every people are kind of like a very different. Okay, yeah. And every people are kind of like a simply not want to grow. What do you mean by not want to grow? Yeah, I'm legitly saying this thing. Not every person is not everyone wants to grow. Not everyone wants to grow. Okay, not everyone wants to be kind of like a somebody make their life better. Like this is a really bold claim, dude. Like basically everyone is actually putting a lot of effort for make them life much better, and you are saying that ki they are not want to do that thing. Yeah. Okay, explain me why. Okay, let me tell you one thing. Okay, yeah. So like basically let me tell you one thing. Okay, yeah. There is a kind of like some teacher who is kind of like a teaching about history class. Okay, yeah. So there is almost like a 100 student in their class. Can you guess how many students are kind of like a listening very closely to that teacher what they are kind of like a teaching? Just take a assumption. 100 out of how much? uh Probably 60. Okay, and what are the other 40s are doing? They are doing time pass or things like that. That's the same thing, dude. That's the same thing. Okay, yeah. Like basically is this thing like, but dude, like this kind of like something depend on the way that teacher teach. Okay, so probably this might be kind of like if the teacher teach really rightful way, then probably the 100 out of 100 people will kind of like simply put the attention what they are teaching. But that is not. If there is a teacher who is kind of like a teaching one of the best or things like that, still people will not gonna like still you will have this kind of like a somebody this thing that ki maybe 80% of the student are kind of like a listening very closely and things like that. 20% of the people might gonna kind of like a simply doing time pass or things like that. Why is that thing? Why does? Because let me tell you one thing na ki as we are human and we are kind of like a somebody always want to kind of like a somebody be in comfort position. Okay, like basically our brains are always seek for comfort position. And what is actually comfort position? A comfort position means like that ki in that particular position you don't really have any responsibility, you don't really have anything at all, you just living the life and you just kind of like enjoying the stuff that around you and stuff like that. Okay, what I'm trying to tell you is this thing: when you are trying to grow or when you try to learn, you are kind of like a something kind of like away from your comfort zone and try to learn kind of like a new things. Okay, yeah. And this is what kind of like a something very less people are kind of like something do that thing. Yeah, very less people are kind of like going to do that thing. And this is actually happen in every factor. Like this actually happen in everything. Like let's just say that ki there is a Dhruv Rathi maker video. Okay, yeah. Like basically Dhruv Rathi makes a really good video regarding about that, regarding about the way that he giving the knowledge and things like that. But still, let's just say that ki if the 100 people are watching, only 20 people or 30 people will gonna watch the entire video. 70% will gonna people will gonna left out or things like that. And this is what exactly is it. Okay, yeah. But let me tell you one thing. There is a difference. Okay, yeah. Means like that ki let's just say that there is a girl who is kind of like a wearing kind of like a something just a half naked body or wearing bikini, and she was kind of like a dancing. So 100 out of almost like a 80% of the people were gonna watch that thing. So how is this thing happen? How is this thing? How is that? Because let me tell you one thing now. As I mentioned, we always seek for comfort zone, right? Yeah. And when we see that particular bikini girl is actually dancing or stuff like that, so it actually enhance our comfort zone. We love that particular time and we just wanted to see that thing. Okay, so do you get it? Okay, yeah. And basically if that particular girl is actually dancing on bikini and things like that, it will not gonna add any kind of like a solely value, nothing really at all. But still you will gonna consume and stuff like that. So this is what it is. Okay, we are living like, and basically it's a kind of like a human thing, dude. Okay, yeah. Because as I mentioned, not everyone is want to grow, not everyone is want to kind of like improve their life, not everyone, like no one wants to improve their life. They just want to kind of like simply follow the particular flow of thing. Like basically if everyone is actually kind of like going to the college, I have to go to the college, and I did that too. I also kind of like a part of that people who is kind of like a following the flow and things like that. I was also part of that thing. I was also consuming that kind of like a things and that. But since I understand that key, growing is means that you leaving your comfort zone and try to achieve something really different and things like that. And when you do that thing, you will kind of like suddenly unlock your new possibility or new things or stuff like that. Okay, yeah. Now regarding about my application is actually for those who are wanted to kind of like a grow their life or things or that. And as I mentioned, those people are really less available. So that's why my application is not meant for everybody. Okay, not meant for everybody. Okay, this is actually meant for kind of like people who are kind of like wanted to improve their life and things like that. Yeah, I will definitely gonna welcome who people who are kind of like somebody willing to improve their life and things and that. But yeah, okay. So dude, I'm kind of like going through very wrong way. Okay, I'm kind of like only the question is actually about that ki what is actually best way to utilize the trend in India and things like that. uh okay. Sorry, I was kind of like somebody distracting and I was kind of like somebody went very somewhere, right? Just like, okay. But regarding about trend, okay, regarding about trending, how do I supposed to utilize this trending thing for improve my business and things like that? uh, I would I would do kind of like all the marketing, and I would do kind of like all the things that what is actually happening in trending, and try to be kind of like try to blend my try to be blend my services into that particular situation, so that multiple user will gonna utilize my platform or things like that. Yeah, I will gonna do that thing, but still it's for very niche kind of like some people, means like that I would do in a marketing, but its marketing is not for masses. It kind of like a marketing for the people who are kind of like somebody really enthusiastic and really wanted to improve their life and things like that. All right. All right. Okay, so this is I should supposed to be end here, and thank you.